or whatsoever, but what they put their finger over the law. Weird. Like, oh, what in the world? It is something that is so idiotic. Like, you put your finger over the law, then the Torah, and the other was under the finger, which was the law. So funny. It was funny because can you imagine? Like a child. Don't see my mark. The finger there. See, ma, my mark is, and he covered the number. Look, my paper gets signed. You know, like it's just using the finger to cover the marks. They did that. They used their finger and they covered the law of Rajam, the law of stoning, and they read the law and skipped the law of stoning. And Sayyidina Abdullah bin Salam was there, and he said, "Ya Rasulullah, they skipped the big part. They skipped it." And then they went, and then she said, lift your finger." And the girl said, "No, I'll lift my finger." What? This is Jews. This is a joke or something. Sharia. This is Sharia. Gay Sharia from the Torah. Thinking it's like a joke. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So now Allah bin Salam, he memorized. He memorized that page. He knows the entire Torah. He knows what it was in that page. So he was like, they're covering it with their finger. Pull it up. So they push the finger away, and this is the law right there. Rajam. And there's something there. Your law's right there. You are Jews. You act on the Torah, right? You are Jews, act on the Torah, right? And they say, what is the law that is for the Muslims? And there's some rajam as well, right? Stoning as well, right? And then but they did, as far as I know from the story, they did not carry it out. And they did not carry it out because they said that no, that law has been removed. That's how they make lies. And they make lies against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, to suit their own nafs. Right? So if it was a poor person or from a weak tribe, yes, they will apply the full law on that person. But if it was a person of name, right, their own family member, the law doesn't apply here, and they'll make up some rules, right, about it and not apply the law. And that is which is why Rasulullah got very, very upset when Sayyidina Zaid, Osama bin Zaid came to Rasulullah to intercede with Rasulullah about a woman from Bani Makhzum. Right, this woman from Bani Makhzum, her name was Fatima, right, from Bani Makhzum, right, she had stolen, right, and she fulfilled all the conditions for her hands to be cut off. There are conditions, Sayyidina Osama. Right, so there are conditions before your hands gets cut off, and it's quite stringent. The laws of Islam and the Hudud laws, they're very stringent. So before the laws are applied onto you, you must fulfill some conditions as to how you stole, what you stole, where was the thing, what were you doing, what was the other people at that time where you stole. There has to be some conditions, very strict, very stringent. Then the governor can give the law, okay, hands chopped off. It's not just for anyone to say that, right? So as far as I know, like, the place, the thing that you stole must be in a safe place. Meaning it has to be kept in a safe, for example, or somewhere whereby it's meant to be kept. Meaning you intruded into someone's privacy, opened up their safe, where they keep their valuables, and stole from that place. It's not the same like someone whereby I walk on the street, I see a phone, I take it. It's in the street. And that's different. There's someone actually entering and going into the center of the room, for example, or your bedroom, and taking stuff from your private possessions. That is dangerous, right? You wouldn't want to have someone come into your bedroom and open up your drawers, right, and take stuff, as opposed to leaving your bag at school and someone stole stuff there. That is in the open. And you left your stuff there and someone stole. That one will not cause for hands to be cut off, because there was no danger in that they entered your home. Entering the home is very scary, right? You see a burglar in your home. That is the scariest thing to see. Right? Someone strange coming into your room, right, in the night. And these are like very scary things. So Islamic law with regards to chopping of the hands is very strict. Very strict, right? And also on the condition that there was no majaa, there is no famine going on, there is no need in the theft, right? Like, people are not starving or something. So was rich, right? She had no need to steal, right? She went to someone's home and she stole. Right? So she fulfilled all the conditions of hands being cut off, of a hand to be cut off. She fulfilled it, right? So the people of Bani Makhzum, they tried to intercede, because for them in Jahiliyyah, right, people of station are not punished. people who are low in society, the poor, the weak, they are punished. Those of pangkat, those of station, all not punished. They are above the law. Right? Islam does not allow that. Nobody is above the law. Everybody is in within the law. So they tried to intercede. Or did not hear them at all. He just ignored whatever they had to say. So they went to Osama bin Zaid. Sayyidina Osama bin Zaid, he's called Hib bin Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He's a beloved of the Prophet Sallallahu. They tried to get him to intercede because he's beloved. And that's the mentality of human beings. They think they can go around the law just because you're the favorite, or you're the beloved. Ismail Islam gave a very clear ruling thereafter that even if Fatima binti Muhammad, even if my Fatima, his daughter, were to steal, the law is going to be on her. But she'll never steal, of course. But even if it's her, the most favorite of the favorite of Rasulullah, even her, she will not be above the law. She's not above the law. The law is a law, is over everyone. So when Sayyidina Zaid came to Rasulullah and he tried to, Sayyidina Osama bin Zaid Afwan came to Rasulullah and he tried to intercede, Rasulullah got angry. He actually got angry, right? And he said, "Are you trying to intercede by Allah's law? Are you trying? Oh, Osama, are you?" And someone thereafter, he was, "Nobody tell me to do this anymore. I'm never doing this ever again." Right? Because don't you speak about Allah's law and try and change it. I don't do that. And they will see Rasulullah in his he will show when someone goes against the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. في حقه وثوابه لا ولكن في حق الله تعالى لا يكون أحل لغضبه. You see in the there's a Mawlid Dibai. The Dibai is this ayat is using Dibai, but it goes that he's never angry for himself. But if someone goes against the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh, nobody can stand in his way of his anger. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that is the way it should be. And by this kind of people, the Quran is preserved. Because they have this ghira of the Quran. You dare change the laws of the Quran. We have this protection, this protectiveness or defensiveness over the Quran. And again, as Muslims, we must be able to defend our Quran and defend our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If people say stuff against our book, right, we need to know first and foremost not to believe what they say. Right, they say stuff that is slanderous against the Quran. First line of defense: don't believe them. Don't believe them. If you want, go to a proper scholar who knows the Quran and ask about it. Like a proper scholar. The musibah in our zaman is that people go to Google, they go to their own friends. Do you know about the Quran says this? And everyone, oh, I don't know. I think the Quran is not I think. There is no I think in the Quran. Because none of us have knowledge. So all of us were like secular students, doing mathematics, science, biology, chemistry, and then discussing amongst ourselves. The Muslims, like the Malay class, it was the Malay class, right? And then all saying, hey, and they were reading the translation of the Quran, right? These people in junior college in Singapore, right? And then why the Quran say we? You know, Allah is one, right? Yeah, why would I say we? Why is we? How لفظ ذا جلالة هذا is the we of majesty, and subhanallah. But I still remember, they were discussing in the Malay class, and nobody had any clue, and it was a fitna amongst us because everybody was giving their guest opinions. It's just guesswork on the Quran. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. But that's why you say jahal murakkab. Like that you say that they are ignorant, that they should not be talking about these matters because they are ignorant. No, mashallah. So it's really like layer upon layer upon layer. But it's in our zaman, what's going on. They're commenting on things they have no right to comment on. And just I think a few weeks ago, I had a question because I work on this platform whereby people ask me questions anonymously. This person was asking a question as to the laws of inheritance in the Quran. And this person was saying that, if this was the case of inheritance and you add up all the fractions, it'll be more than one. And if it's more than one, how do you divide? Okay, Sayyidina Omar actually has a solution to that problem. And he has been settled from the time of Sayyidina Umar. From the Zaman of Sayyidina Umar, already gave his fatwa on that opinion as to if you were to add up the fractions when it comes to inheritance, it is possible it becomes more than one. It is possible more than one whole. All right. So it's how to divide the inheritance more than one whole. And Sayyidina Umar actually used ratio. To actually figure it out. It's just the entire mathematics thing behind it. But Sayyidina Umar has already put down the ruling and law in his zaman. So this person was asking me this question. And I said, well, there is a solution behind this. Sayyidina Umar spoke about it. I told the person. Then the person said, does this mean there's a flaw in the Quran? And I was like, no, doesn't mean that. It just means the Quran give us principles, and then Allah give us the ulama, and the ulama took the principles and derive further laws from the principles set in the Quran. That's why, and so there is an istinbat, right? There is a derivation. That's what happened. And the person was like, no, but the Quran should not give fractions whereby the answer is more than one, right? For inheritance. You understand what this person is saying, eh? So this person was saying this, and then I was saying that, yeah, this person, like, where have you studied in Islam? Right? What is your qualifications? I asked her, what are your qualifications? Then she said, I have Islam at all. At all. I just a regular Singaporean, went through O levels, went through diploma in polytechnic, and then stuff online. So now having a lot of disturbance in the head that there's something wrong in the Quran, because I'm a mathematician. She said, I'm a mathematician, and I say I am an engineer. not to boast to her, but she's a diploma student in Singapore, Polytechnic, Singapore Poly. Come on. I was O levels, didn't do A level, didn't do A math. I did normal math. So I was like, she said, but I'm a mathematician. You're you're a mathematician. In Sharia, no. And any what we learn in Islam, nothing. I read this on the internet and now having doubts in the Quran. Sama-sama. And I will say, first on you, I'll tell you, go and sign yourself up for some weekend classes. Okay, learn your wudu first, learn your salat first, right? Don't talk about inheritance. This is not your area at all. In fact, very few of the Hafiza are trained in inheritance. Very few. And even myself also, I don't dare go into inheritance. I know of some of the laws, but I will not, take someone's wealth who has passed away and distribute it. I won't do that. I'll go and find someone who is an expert in this to handle it. So the awam, the common person, your business is wudu, salat, saum, fasting, and then zakat. And Hajj and Umrah, when you go to Hajj and Umrah. Inheritance and everything on. Not my area. I won't go into inheritance. But I know that I need to answer to her question. But I didn't want to give her the answer because I had to check, where are you in your understanding of inheritance? She's not even taken Safina, nor the Jamia, nor even like the smallest fiqh book, the smallest fiqh book. But this is the thing about our zaman. They think they're so smart. Because why? I've done O levels. O levels not hard, inshallah. O level is O levels. Come on. I've done O levels. I'm in my diploma right now, second year, Singapore Poly. And we all also in Singaporeans, you're like, how many people are in Singapore Poly? Come on. It doesn't make you smart. It makes you normal. One of the Singaporeans. Allahu Alam. But that's the thing about it, that we need to teach humility. I teach humility to our young. You come to the Quran, be humble. Be humble. I don't think that, I spotted a mistake in the Quran. Oh, you spotted a mistake in the Quran. How's your Arabic? Oh, zero Arabic. Oh, the person has zero Arabic, by the way. Zero Arabic. Read from translation. Yeah, subhanallah, subhanallah. Sometimes you just you breathe in, breathe out, focus on all of them, because you know it is how they are. It's not from arrogance, it's from ignorance, from an education system that has bred the education system in Singapore, or in the whole world, not Singapore only, in Singapore all the time, the whole world has bred people to think that they, being a graduate,
hold of a diploma, of a degree, that they can enter into any science, any book and understand that. And especially books of the religion. You won't find them going into a law book or a medicine book and this trying to understand it. But they go into a hadith book. Oh, that they will read. Into Quran book, the tafsir. They will do all those things. But law and medicine, oh, you must be trained in law. Then you can read a law book. Yeah, you got to be trained in Islam. Then you can read an Islamic book. Mashallah. But they will have that respect for dunyawi sciences. Or law book, you must be in law school. Then you can know the law book. You must be in medicine, school of medicine. Then you know the medicine book. Right? But tafsir, you open the translation. This is the translation of the tafsir. And open the hadith and just read Sahih Bukhari offhand like that. You read Sahih Bukhari offhand like that. See what happens to you. You'll be so confused because you need an alim, a scholar. It's not for a person to open Sahih Bukhari and read it from start to end. It's not for the common to do that. You need a teacher. And in fact, Imam Nawawi, may Allah reward him greatly on our behalf, Imam Nawawi, in him putting down the 40 hadith, that is for awam. That is for the masses. 40 hadith Imam Nawawi. If you go, easier than that, you go into Mukhtar al-Hadith. Habib Omar. Or you go to Nurul Iman. Nurul Iman, nice, short hadith, you learn those, mashallah. Like Qutul Falihin. These are the hadiths you go into. You don't just jump into Bukhari. So Sheikh Hamza once mentioned that it is a fitna in our zaman that they translated Sahih Bukhari. Leave in Arabic. So those who want to assess it in Arabic first. I don't like if you have not learned Arabic, not done the work, don't come into this book. Right. And even then, with regards to tafsir as well, right, that there are scholars that are of the opinion that tafsir, right, should not be translated into other languages. Why? Because to make them assess it, there's some in religion, then they can assess these books. But you don't have like tafsir out there, just read off like and then you get so mulakhwat, they'll be so confused, so messed up, and then shaitan is more than ready to come in and whisper to you all the lies about Islam. Subhanallah. So this is why we say we believe in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the books they are transcendent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no mistake in the Quran or in any book as it was revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? The differences in Sharia does not mean mistake. Differences in Sharia just means different communities and zaman. Right? So with the movement of human society or development of human society, necessarily there should be change in law. Necessarily, because human beings are different from time to time. Right? So that the change in Sharia is necessary because it just shows human society is changing. And the Sharia of Rasulullah is universal. Right? So it applies to every zaman after his and to every society after his. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But for Aqidah is haq, is truth. So Aqidah, no change. Aqidah of Nabi Musa, Aqidah of Nabi Adam, Aqidah of Nabi Ibrahim, Aqidah of Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, all of them are on one Aqidah. So it's how they will say the Aqidah is like the father, like one father. And then Sharia is the mother, many mothers. That's how they will say. So all the prophets are brothers in that way. They're all brothers because they have one aqidah about many sharia, right? And within our own sharia, there are some opinion which does not harm the religion. Right? So there was a question I saw from the Dawah participants about putting the hand on the chest when you pray and hand by the side. So the person was quoting some hadith about or some was seen to put hands on the side. And there are also hadiths about he put his hands on the front. Right? So it is possible that sometimes hands by the side. Sometimes he prayed hands in front. It does not affect the authenticity of the prayer or the person, the Prophet. Does it mean that he's not a prophet? No, he is a prophet. Sometimes you can put your hands at the side. Sometimes you can put it here. It's okay. Right? It's not going to hurt your prayer. Right? It's basically there's no opinion. Some Sahaba saw this to be sunnah. Right? So to do it here. Some Sahaba saw sunnah is to put it here. Right? So and different ulama take different opinions. But you know what? These things don't hurt the prayer. And they don't harm aqidah. right? But they just things by the, you say by the corners. And it's just very slight details here and there, not a matter to be debated, not a matter to be argued upon. And because the companions, or the scholars, the ulama, have already discussed it. So min zaman has been settled. So in our zaman, to bring this up, why? Because the scholars have spoken about this already. And in the Quran itself, right, the scholars have exhausted in speaking about the Quran itself. So in our zaman, nobody can come forward and say, oh, this ayat about hijab is actually not about hijab. It's about something else. So what, yeah, my dear? It's about modesty, yeah, modesty. Right. Nothing here about hijab, nothing. There's no word hijab. There's no word. And you ask them, what's your Arabic level? Yeah, Fulana. Like, what's your level of Arabic? What is your training in Usuluddin? What's your training in Usul Fiqh? What's your training? Zero training. Read some some nonsense out there, and then heard some professors in secular universities saying that the Muslims have been misunderstanding the law of hijab, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And then believe all these professors, and who are these people compared to Imam Shafi'i, Imam Malik, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal? Compared to them, who are these people? Subhanallah. So our Quran has, we are 1,445, year old Sharia. Most of the religion is from Nabi Adam alayhi salam, right? Sharia. The Sharia has been here for that long, more than 1,000 years. The scholars have already exhausted the discussion of our Sharia, especially things that's already been established, like hijab, and so on. What is to be spoken about is things in the future, maybe AI, something about AI, like artificial intelligence, maybe about, I don't know what are they doing right now, like making human beings in test tubes and whatsoever, right? Maybe those things they will discuss. But things that have been done since the time of the Sahaba, you want to bring up now? 1,400 years of Islam. Come on. Nobody else figured it out except you in this zaman. Oh, the hijab's not wajib. MashaAllah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I think, and we should also think about the Wahhabis, also a lot of things that what they say, right? For more 1,000 years of Islam, no one spoke against these things. Like building a qubba over the grave. Grave visits. They used to have in Mecca and Medina, over Sayyidah Khadijah, there was a qubba for a long time, to the point of 1960s. Then they destroyed it. It's so recent, the history is so recent. They destroyed it, which means that for more than 1,000 years of Islam, 1,400 years, you say, of Islam, no one saw the Quba of Sayyidina Khadijah's grave to be a problem. Suddenly, this enlightened group of people came and said, problem, destroy everything. And it used to be a baqi over the Ummahat al-Mu'mineen. And the Muslim believers, there was Quba. There was the dome of the, it used to be over the daughters of Rasulullah al-Baqi. From afar, you can see where are the daughters, where is Sayyidina Uthman, where are the Muslim believers. You can see from afar where they are. Right? And for 1,400 years, nobody in the Ummah of Islam saw a problem with that. Right? And then only history, about what, how many years ago? 60 years ago, 1960s. Then suddenly some people said, no, haram. And they're trying to destroy the Quba of Rasulullah as well. They've been trying to do it. They can't. Allah doesn't allow. They destroy all the Qubas, not the green one. So they've been trying to destroy it actually. But whenever they try to do it, their machines will be spoiled. They can't cheat. They can't take our green Quba away. The green Quba is really, like, to many people, just to gaze at it, your feelings of love for Rasulullah all come up. Just to see the green Quba, right? Just to see it, subhanallah. They've been trying to remove it. If not heard about what they're trying to do, they've been trying to they don't think they're going to leave it there. They hate that people come to Medina and stand outside the masjid and look at the green kubbah. They hate it that we do that. We all do that. We all go to Medina, so the green kubbah there. And the green kubbah. It's so much tranquility, sakit, love, and there are like the graduates of Medina University. If you've seen them around in that area, and they'll go from people to people telling you all is bid'ah. They're all there. And they won't leave you alone. They will say to you, go away from here, this is shirik, this is bid'ah, don't stand in front of the green kubba. And you're like, shh. And you find all the Pakistanis coming and all them doing yeah, dua with the green kubba. They all speak Urdu. They don't even like hear whatever the Wahhabis are saying, mashallah. It's quite funny, like, you see the whole group of Pakistanis coming and all, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah. Mashallah. So it's so cute, mashallah. So sweet. It's good. Do your thing, mashallah. And then it's our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanallah. Right. So this is what we understand. Right? Our religion is 1,400 years old. I mean the Sharia is 1,400 years old. So for us to not think in our zaman, you have some enlightenment about some law of Islam that has been established for 1,400 years and gone through the most brilliant minds of Ummah. Likes of Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Ghazali, right, Imam Bukhari. That this Sharia has gone to their minds. Right? If there was any flaw in the understanding, they would have corrected it already. Don't think that you in this zaman like, suddenly you know how to correct it. That's our biggest defense. Our biggest defense against what is being said out there, and for us to reject it, because they're trying to undo an understanding that is more than 1,000 years, of Islamic practice amongst the greatest of our scholars who memorized. Mashallah, I was watching Habib Omar Kalima, right, with the commemoration of Imam Muhajir coming into Hadramaut. I think it was on Wednesday. Wednesday there was no Rawaha. and the men went to Husaisa. They went to Husaisa. And Habib was speaking and speaking and speaking. You see Habib Mar speak, right? There is no planned speech. I don't think that he planned the speech and he came forward and he from a planned speech. No. It's all from the heart. It's his entire being, Habib Omar. His whole life, his being, his truth, everything about him, he's coming out in his kalima. That is why in the world, never miss the night or the mount. Is Habib Omar's wasiat on us that if you, wherever you are in the world, 3 things in the week do not miss. And this is why Habib Omar, has made people translate these 3 things into Malay, into English. They have their channels on YouTube. Right? The Jalsa, the Monday night Jalsa, the Sir, because that one has what you need to know about the Quran will be mentioned in the Jalsa. It is the karama of a wali. And what you need to know for the week or for your life, in fact, from the Quran. So you say, I don't know the Quran, I don't know how to say the Quran. On Monday's Jalsa. Okay, put it on. It's now in Malay, it's in English as well. So now we have no excuse. Habib has commanded for his students to go and translate. So every Monday without fail, there's someone translating the Jalsa in English and also in Malay. Second one is the Wednesday night Ihya. Last night there was no Ihya. There was no night I was waiting for it. And then my husband came back, I was like, there's no Ihya today. Yeah, there was no Ihya yesterday. My husband told me, he was like, it's not Ihya. Okay, no. But the Ihya, it covers your Sharia. Right? So with the Quran, it gives you the Monday night one, it gives you in your aqidah, in your suluk, right? In your path, in tazkiyah, in tasawwuf, in purification, right? So in your akhlaq, the Monday night jalsa. Because in the Monday night jalsa, it teaches you about tawakkul, about trust in Subhanahu wa ta'ala. It gives you all the Quranic reminders come through the Monday night one. Then the Wednesday night is ihya. Right now he's on Sharia. It kind of it gives you a firmness in your understanding of practicing the religion. And then we have the Thursday night tonight, the Maulid. The Maulid is just to wake you up. Right? So if you don't hear all the speeches, at least Habib Omar you must hear. You can ignore everybody else if you want. I'll skip everybody. Habib Omar you must hear. You can kind of skip if you want to skip everybody else. But Habib Omar's speech you must hear. Right? Every Maulid, every day night, Friday night, there is a Maulid. You must hear Habib Omar's speech. Why? It wakes you up.
It wakes you up to the matter of this dunya. It's a shaking, it's shaking, mashallah. So I was saying to my husband that yesterday when I was listening to speech 2 days ago, in fact, to his speech at Husaisa, and he was quoting Quran and giving like very powerful. You hear his speech was so strong, Habib Umar, mashallah. I was saying to my husband, subhanallah, it's unheard of, amongst the ulama, of, let's say, here in Tarim, amongst the ulama, it's unheard of that any of them don't memorize Quran. See, to be an alim is understood from age 7, 8, 9, you memorized.
There was one
Right. So,
interview in the Egyptian TV, and there was someone that studied in Azhar University that was saying that hijab was required. And then the reporter didn't have a scarf on. She wasn't having hijab on. She told him, what are you saying? What are you saying? How can you say that hijab is not far? Can you quote the ayah? And he was like, oh, I don't remember exactly.
Allah.
What do you mean? Don't remember exactly? What do you mean? Like you're studying in Azhar. You're supposed to be a scholar, and you don't even remember the verse from the Quran.
This is
And
the
she didn't have hijab on.
she knew. You couldn't even. Subhanallah. So like you see online, people calling all kinds of people around, or any people calling them scholars. They've not memorized Quran. You can't be a scholar in Islam if you don't memorize Quran. Not Quran, hundreds of hadith. You must have memorized them, and at least memorize several, big books of fiqh and aqidah. Right? So you see how Umar speaking. It's not just a man with his opinions. No, it's a man with with loads of knowledge, memorized to memory, and he's quoting and quoting and quoting and quoting. Subhanallah, it's people with full dalil. On their side. Right? So subhanAllah, in Singapore, there are people, they could call some of our, these are scholars. These are not scholars. I'm not a scholar. I'm just a translator. I translate Habib, that's what I do. I can't give something for myself. I cannot. Right? So subhanAllah, there's something to understand that in Islam, alhamdulillah, scholarship is very heavy in Islam, mashallah. And it's for us that we come to the Quran, humble yourself, take it from a scholar. Right. Inshallah, from today onwards, we end our class, inshallah. From today onwards, our Monday night, don't miss. Jalsatul Isnin, cannot miss. Wednesday night, Ihya. Right. Cannot, it's all your lifeline, eh? And Thursday night, Maulid. Maulid Habib Kalima. Like, it's all these three are translated into Malay and English, and of course it's in Arabic. Right, so try our best not to miss them, especially Habib Omar. He himself said, those who live time do not let go of this tree. At least this tree must hold on to, inshallah. Okay, mashallah, we'll stop there for today. To Isnin. Now, tafsir. Tafsir, yes, tafsir. He goes to the Quran. Tamam. So we'll stop today, inshallah. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك صلى الله عليه وسلم الفاتح سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته